welcome to today's tutorial. We are going to be working with a collection from Simple Stories called Cruisin, and this collection is all about taking a vacation on a cruise ship, and we are going to be making 4 pages with this collection today. So this includes the sticker sheet along with 12 sheets of pattern paper, and I also got coordinating cardstock purchased separately, and there are 3 different papers that have a different color on each side. And here I'm just flipping over so you can see what the back side of each of these pages looks like. I chose to use the cream and teal colored one along with the red and the dark teal color. I didn't want to pull the reds as much, and I didn't want to pull the yellow color out either. So you can definitely use other colors if that's what you want to do, but these are the color choices I made today. Okay, so now we need 2 accent papers along with 4 background papers. So I'm just going to go through my papers here and I'm going to pick what I want. I'm going to remove all of our journaling card pieces first, and we're only going to use these if we need them. Otherwise, I'm going to cut them up and use them as embellishments on the pages. And if they aren't going to be used on the pages, they'll make great pocket pages later on. Okay, so when I look at my embellishments there, I decided I really didn't want to pull this wood grain. I felt that the embellishments are they weren't so much realistic looking images, they were more cartoony and faker kind of looking images, so I didn't want to bring in like a real looking paper into the pack. So I eliminated that paper, and you can always use wood grain paper for other projects. I really liked this paper here. I felt like it looked good on both sides. So we're going to use this as our accent paper where we need both sides to be good. I felt like bringing in the words on the page will look really nicely, and it also incorporates a bunch of the different colors with a darker base to it. I really like this nautical paper here, and as one of my background pages. And here I thought I was going to pull some red coloring, so I kind of pulled them out as if I was going to, and then I decided against it. I really like this matte paper. That's going to be a for sure background. I didn't like this paper at all, so I put that to the side. And here I'm going to go back and try and sort through more of my background pages. So I'm going to take out my journaling cards and see what the back sides look like. And I ended up choosing 2 of our papers from our journaling cards just because I wanted more of that teal color to come through. I really liked the back side of this paper, which is that striped paper. I love it as an accent. It's really gonna pop off our pages. So I am sacrificing those 4x4 element cards for the sake of having that striped paper. And here I felt like this black and white striped paper clashed too much with that colorful striped paper, so I decided not to use that one. And I really decided I wanted to keep these 3x4 and 4x6 journaling cards. I really want to be able to use them later on, and I really like this other dotted teal paper. So here I really didn't like how the red didn't match everything, so I flipped it over and used the anchor side, which is just the black base, and we went ahead and used that for our background as well. We have cutting diagrams in my tutorial videos, and I just kind of want to let you know how to read them. So there's the number in top in inches, and that's going to be the size that we're going to cut that cut piece into. And there's a number below it in a circle. So a lot of the times we're making 4 pages or 6 pages when we're using these cutting diagrams, and all these cut pieces can sort of get very disorganized. So that number inside of the circle there represents a pile that you're going to put that cut piece into. So for a 4-page tutorial, we're going to make 4 piles, and for a 6-page tutorial, we're going to make 6 piles. So the numbers are going to be either 1 through 4 or 1 through 6. So page 1 is going to have all the cut pieces that have a circle with the number 1 inside, and so on for the 4 or 6 pages. So now we're going to go ahead and take all pieces of our cardstock and we are going to cut 1 inch in, 1 inch from the top and 1 inch from the bottom, and we're going to make a straight line on all 4 sides of each of these pieces of cardstock. What we're basically doing is cutting a 10 by 10 inch square out of the center of this piece of cardstock. The border is going to be put into our pile, and the center, the 10 by 10 inch center, is going to be put to the side, and we're going to be cutting it with another cutting diagram as soon as we're done cutting out all of these squares. Now we're going to go ahead and cut the backgrounds for our pages. So we are going to be cutting the barcode strip off along with 1/2 inch and then 1/2 inch on the other side. So we're going to be making an 11.5 inch by 11.5 inch square for all of our background papers. Alrighty, so here I'm just laying out the embellishments in front of me, and I really like the bits and pieces pack with this collection. There's a combination of a bunch of sayings, and then there's different shapes, and there's actually even a few journaling opportunities that they threw in there. So I think it's actually a really versatile piece to add if you really want to work with this collection. And here I'm just going to I just cut up some of my journaling cards that I had planned to maybe put on my pages along the way. So with our first page here, I really like to use the linear space underneath the photo areas, and it's a great spot to put titling. And I end up using the titling that comes with the chipboard stickers. It says Bon Voyage, and I really liked how the black really pops off the page. You could definitely use like thickers or make a titling of your own with like a Cricut machine or with other die cuts. This would be a great spot to like maybe put like the cruise line you're with, or the port of call you're at, or like the name, the titling kind of your cruise, like if it's an Alaskan cruise or like an Eastern Caribbean, or things like that. So it's a great sort of big title page. It's a good opportunity to use a good title, but I didn't want to do that on this page. And then I put the little circle journaling area there behind the titling and kind of clustered around it, and I intend to put like a date there, something small, nothing, you know, no major story there or anything like that. That's why I kind of covered a lot of it. And I just kind of put that sun up in the corner just to give the top of the page a little pop of something. And then what I did at the bottom is I just kind of finished off that bottom area with that little crab, and then used this the wording, like the strip wording at the bottom of the sticker sheet. I love that Simple Stories includes that on their sticker sheets. I think it's a great way to cluster around other things, and it's good quick titling to put on a page. Even like, you know, it always has catchy little phrases regarding the theme of the paper pack. It's one of my favorite things about Simple Stories packs is those little word strips. And then I just finished it off with little mini clusters of enamel dots that are just put in a triangle around some of the elements. So I wanted to pop up this journaling card and make it pop off the page compared to the photo areas. So what I'm taking is just leftover pieces of the bottom of my chipboard there, and I'm using this along with some liquid adhesive that's a little bit stronger of an adhesive, and I'm using the leftover pieces of my chipboard to pop this up off the page, just because it's a bigger area and I happen to have it laying around from the bottom of my chipboard area. Okay, you do need a stronger adhesive though, because the back side of the chipboard ends up being kind of a glossy finish. So oh, my cat is causing trouble. And so you just need a little bit of a stronger adhesive there. So I use Zip Dry. It's a liquid adhesive and it works perfect for this. But once it's stuck on there, you're not able to get it off without ruining your page. I played around here with adding this titling, but it was just too dainty of a titling, and I didn't really like how it was looking on the page, so I decided to change it up. And I used the ship again. So this time I used the chipboard ship instead of the sticker ship, which we used on the last page. Just because I don't want to put chipboard against chipboard. I think there's not enough of a difference in the type of element, and it looks better when you put like a popped up sticker next to a piece of chipboard rather than chipboard next to another piece of chipboard, if that makes sense. So here I'm just going to kind of create, you could definitely, if you have a lot more to say, if you want to have a bigger journaling area, you can definitely do a bigger journaling area here underneath this 4x6 photo area. And this page I geared more towards like shore excursions and talking about what you did off the ship. So if you have more to say, you can definitely do that below in that area. Here I popped up just the top of that microscope because I want that telescope, because I want the bottom of that telescope to tuck underneath that journaling area that I have. Yeah, and for me, I don't want another journaling area on this page, so I'm gonna kind of just fill in that area underneath that 4x6 photo area, just to make it not look so blank in that area. So for our third page here that we're working on, I wanted to create a little bit of a journaling area at the top of that 3x4 photo area and then frame around it with this titling that I pulled off the sticker sheet called Let's Cruise. And originally I had planned to just leave it stuck down directly onto the page itself. But then the more I looked at it, the more I wanted it to be popped up. Because I found that just having the titling sort of on like flat against the page, just like the journaling area is, it just didn't stand out enough. And I like to have like a texture difference or a height difference in the elements, especially when you're making a cluster. I just feel like it looks more interesting and it creates more depth on the page. It kind of creates a shadow. These fishes, I kind of put them on a triangle in the page, like with the 3 elements, kind of tied the elements together that way on the page, and all 3 of those fishes were popped up with foam tape as well, or like a foam square. And then I just finished off this page adding a lot more of those word strips. And this page happened to be about like being on the ship, like a fun day at sea. Not so much a shore excursion, but if you wanted this to be an excursion type of a page, you could definitely just put different wording and maybe a different titling, but you could even say Let's Cruise and talk about a shore excursion as well. It's just, you got to make these layouts work for you. This is just what's working for me and what I want to do with these pages. So for our next page, I really wanted to use this top 5 favorite element, but it was just too big the way it was. It was like a big 4x6, it took up a big 4x6 area. So I cut the top off and decided to trim it down. You just follow the edges here, and I ended up repositioning where my 3x4 photo area was because I wanted this element to be brought down closer to the bottom. So you'll see here that I kind of just move it around on the page. And then what I do is I take I adhere the list part of it directly to the page, and then I pop up the top 5 faves area with some foam squares. And then I'm gonna kind of just cluster around this list area. Okay, and then what I also want to do is create sort of a title area above that 4x6 photo area. And this little square sort of journaling opportunity that was in with the bits and pieces, I figured it would just be a good opportunity to put a date in, or maybe even put in maybe like a port that you visited, or maybe even just like a small detail about one of the 4x6 photo or the 3x4 photo area. I'd love to know like what cruise line is your favorite, and if you've cruised it all before, and if cruising is something you like or you don't like. And what's your favorite itinerary? Like, do you like Alaskan cruises, or like what's been your most memorable cruise that you've been on? I would love for you guys to list some of your experiences in the comments. I would love to hear. I always love hearing about people's vacations and their experiences, and maybe getting some new ideas for vacation ideas. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for being awesome viewers. You guys are always so positive and uplifting, and I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next Friday with another tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching.